because you see a lot of parents giving their kids everything and everything that the kids want and everything that they think that, or everything that they missed out on. But is it what's best for the kid? And I suppose something that this guy said that I picked up on, he said many things, but something that I thought that I resonated with that we need to give our kids is we've got to teach our kids how to get up again. We've got to teach our kids how to fight. Because you got to, you got to fight for your marriage. You got to fight for your friendships. You got to fight for your business. You got to fight when you got teenage kids running wild. You got to fight to get them back in, so they feel that love. Life is a fight. Yeah. and I think this modern day and age, there's that, particularly with men, there's like a passivity that runs through. We talk about every man is a warrior. It's in our DNA. That male masculinity that must be developed. What boy do you see? And you got young blokes. What boy do you see that his goal would be to grow up and be nice and be polite? And it's not in us. You get a young bloke. He'll get a stick. That's a sword. Yeah. He just, whatever he gets, it's a weapon. If he gets a cardboard box, he wants to smash it. Yep. It's in our DNA.
It is.
But we know. Grow up and want to be nice. So we've got to mold that and develop that masculinity so that our women, our wives, our daughters, our mothers, our sisters feel safe in our strength. Yeah. Not scared of our strength.
Yeah.
So
and knowing right and wrong,
And yeah, sorry to butt in, mate, but just thinking about those two gentlemen you mentioned, if I can be bold enough to say, they just sound like undeveloped men. They're just on a journey. Yeah. So maybe the guy who mouthed off, hey, he's probably having some, he's probably thinking, maybe I should have shut my mouth.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
Well, put it this way. I'll bet you everyone that's been in your gym would with no consequences now. Like you 100%. fear. I fear every single man. And I'm sure you do too, right? You're a fighter, but every man is to be feared.
Yeah.
Like every single shape, because they can, if they've got it in, they're to be feared at all times. Like if you wrong someone, doesn't matter what size or height, whether you're a trained boxer or not, they'll come at you and just fight to the, you upset someone's wife, sort of thing. Oh.
Well, do you know what? I think, I use this term a real man, because just because you're male doesn't make you a man. Yeah? Born male, yet to be a man. Yeah. So, and particularly when you've got undeveloped men who have avoided tests and challenges and some of this stuff I'm saying is probably controversial to an undeveloped man. And, But I think particularly with a man, strength, women have got to feel safe in that strength. And you mentioned something where this bloke today mentioned something about your wife. Yep. Come on. Yeah. Like there's just a bloke who's calling out for help. That's what I hear. Yep. There's and the bloke with the karate or the martial arts for 10 years never been tested. There's another bloke. He's on a journey and he's doing his best. And he's probably in that area, gone to as far as he can go. Yep. But the question still hasn't been answered. And thank God he's Yeah. And when you say every man must be feared, I don't think so. And you said every man's dangerous, I don't think so. I think every man wants to feel dangerous, wants to, come alive. And I think we are designed that way, but we've believed the lie where we want to play it safe. Yeah. And there's no fulfillment in playing it safe. No. So I ask you, mate, if I can, you're interviewing me and I'm asking you, what makes you come alive? What makes you feel dangerous?
Well, I don't know. The first thing that pops into my mind, and I'll probably regret saying this as I normally do, I should have said this, For some reason, I'm the kind of guy that here I am talking in a microphone.
Yeah.
my old man said this to me a long time ago. A light bulb comes on. So if I'm standing there on a stage or something, right? For some reason, I feel like I want to talk to a crowd and entertain a crowd and sort of control the atmosphere because I feel like it's sort of too sad or something. You know, that's it. I don't know if that's the answer you're looking for, but that's my quick answer is making people feel good.
Okay.
You know, especially in groups and
you're an entertainer.
I really
you
am.
Want to give to people.
Yeah, and I actually only told myself 2 years ago, sort of thing, like, Drew, you stop fighting this. Like, it's clearly what.
What do you think you're fighting
at? Good question. I think I've always been playing guitar in someone else's band, sort of thing, and it is really weird to talk to you about. But I sort of realised after a while that, hang on a minute, no, I enjoy being the one, like that guy that is trying to control the room instead of being critical of the guy that's doing the talking. Like, oh mate, I don't know. So it's been quite good to have a second job like I do now in a cover band, and have the mic in my hand, and it feels like everywhere I go now is like a good time with that party. And
hey, come on, living the dream.
Yeah. Well, it's
and I think that's where a lot of people do something because they're ticking the box. I got to pay my bills. I got to do this. I got to do that. But really, I think if all right, what about this? If every man, like people say, well, how can we make the world a better place? Whereas I reckon if every man did what makes them come alive and makes them feel good and makes them feel like when they're given, there's value in it.
Yeah.
That's what the world needs. More men like that.
Yeah.
Men to come alive.
100%.
That's what will make the world a better place. I tell you something, mate. I've recently done this, I suppose, a self, what's the word? Like an inventory.
Yeah.
Because everything must be measured and tested.
Yeah.
And you don't want to live in a false economy, as I mentioned. And this course that I've done, terrific, amazing, very, very, very challenging. That you're gonna do. Okay, I've got some other blokes. I'm testing the, tried and test. I'm testing some guys at the moment going through it, and I went through it. Smashed me. And it looks at your identity and your wounds because every bloke walks with a wound. We get it generally comes from the father, or from a male role model who we've looked up to, and but it says basically kind of halfway through it when you're getting messed up, it says, what sort of a man are you? How do you see yourself? Because it goes through your identity, and then it says, and to be honest, I went away and I wrote a couple of things down that because they're very good the way they do it, and I didn't like what I wrote, to be honest with you. If I was really honest, and then they got me. They go, if you've got what it takes, go and ask a couple of men that you see as men what are words that would describe you, And so I went and asked a couple of blokes, but I got some of the stuff. Okay, that hurt.
Really?
Because I didn't know. I could find people that would tell me what I want to hear. Believe me, I could find them. But I chose these couple of blokes because I know they love me and they'll tell me exactly, And but one bloke said to me that he'd done something similar, and what he did years ago is he asked his older couple of kids how they see him as a father, how they see him as a man.
Wow.
So, okay, I've got an older couple of kids, I could do that. So I did. My oldest three kids are 16, 15, and 13. And
how'd you do it? Just sitting them down, like like a
real
moment.
Yeah. I sat them down. I said, listen, I want you to write down how you see me as a dad and how you see me as a father. I want you to write down the good stuff, and I want you to write down the not so good stuff.
Wow, great.
Can you do that? I'll make you. So I'm going to give you 24 hours. They're like, and me, everybody said, yeah, okay. So anyway, the next day they come. I said, you got it. They've written it down. They've given it to me, and it was quite. I mean, it was good. It was. my young bloke, he goes, he's 15, he goes, he said a couple of things that were really encouraging, but he said one thing that I really, that stuck in me. He goes, I feel safe when I'm around you, Dad. I thought, wow, that's something pretty cool. And he said some other good stuff, but then he goes on the other side, he goes, but you're a hypocrite.
Wow.
I laugh. I mean, and then one of my other
You'll never forget that.
one
I
of
would
my
never forget that.
one of my other girls goes, about all this good stuff, how I'm encouraging and I'm positive, and she loves it when I pray, out loud, and she hears me, and then she goes, but sometimes on a Sunday night you get angry, and if you don't try and get up first thing on a Monday morning and train, you look sad. Thought this is real.
Yeah,
This
real
is being
stuff.
really honest.
Yeah.
Terrific. And there's some other stuff as well, but that's every man's got to do an inventory.
That's great.
I think you want to know really where am I at. If you don't know really where you're at, how do you know where you're going to go?
Yeah.
Because you can have great plans, but you need to have your feet on the ground. To actually get there.
That's right. I get funny about this stuff lately. Did your dad ever do that to you?
What?
Like in the 80s, say, dads weren't known to sit you down and say, son, tell me what, write down here what's good and what's bad about me.
Never.
Never.
Never. Never.
I always think about that stuff, the same stuff that you went, this inventory you were doing. Like, it must have been something about that era, eh? Like,
well, you look at how old's your dad?
68.
Yeah, my old man's about 64, 63. But you look at their fathers and
the war.
They're just walking with a limp. And even actually Mother's Day a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking. I've created a culture in with 7 kids. Me and my wife, we've created this culture of like Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthdays. We one for giving. All right, center of it. What do you want? All right, it's Drew's birthday. Everyone say, what's the one thing about Drew they love? You know what I mean? So create a bit of it's a bit of a thing, a bit of a culture thing where we encourage each other.
That's beautiful.
So and particularly Mother's Day, and we were at the Kruck and RSL, and we were talking, and then we started talking about. My dad started talking about his mum, and then talking about his grandfather, and just like going through the war and
it's almost stuff you've never heard before in your life.
Exactly.
You soften them up and all this stuff comes.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think of the name of the game that they play. So basically, when he was at war, right, what he would do. I'm trying to think of the name. He used to run some illegal gambling.
Yeah.
Right.
Craps or one of those things.
Crown and Anchor.
Okay.
That's the name. I'd never heard of it. Crown and Anchor. So he used to run this, and all the money that he'd win, he'd send back home because he was away for a couple of years. Wow. They brought a boarding house. So, this is in Melbourne. From illegal gambling, And when he come back to Australia, because he had all these mates and war mates, and he knew how to run this stuff now, they brought another one. So they had like 2, they were like DOS houses, like hostel type of things, where, and so people would meet and do all this gambling. I thought, I didn't know this.
You got to learn this game.
That's what I thought.
You've got to learn this game. Honestly, you got to learn this game. We get this Crown and Anchor thing happening.
Yeah, so
it's what created the family you know.
Yeah. So it's quite. I can see how. Because everything, we're all products of the culture we live in. And I can see how that's where my old man, talking about when he'd go and hang with his grandfather, they go and do chicken raffles and do this Crown and Anchor stuff. You know what I mean? Do all this. Yep. And he used to hang with his flipping, and he said his old man, his grandfather, would every now, was a shocking drinker.
Yeah.
And would every now and again just like get on the drink and think he was in the war.
Wow.
And a couple of times he was locked up where he tried to stab people, and because he thought he'd like have